All right, yo, what is good? I am finally back home from yesterday. We just went up to go see some family as it's around the holidays, but like I said, I'm finally back so I can get a recap video. Was not able to get one yesterday. I did give y'all some homework to go through. There were three good setups that really only fit within the rules. So if you were able to go find those and kind of go over them and tape read them, good job. Definitely was. I wouldn't say yesterday was a hard day at all to read. Today was pretty tough in a sense because there was a lot of misreads, especially on the 15 second. If you are not pretty familiar with the rule set, the strategy, etc., it could have been easy to get chopped up. I know some people probably did, but that's why I'm obviously going to go over this video and kind of explain my thought process. So if you saw my tweet on Twitter coming into the morning, I was expecting lower prices. This would look like a very clear market maker sell model forming. As you can see, right at open 8:30, we came up, tapped into this breaker right here. This is probably on the 15-minute. Yeah, this is a 15-minute unicorn setup, which is just a breaker within a fair value gap. Not that that really holds. I mean, it does because I like to note because it kind of stems into this first setup that was before 8:40. Like I said, I don't limit myself to that specific time. If I know where the draw is, I've just given that time because it's consistently profitable within that specific time. There's consistently good setups, uh, and it just overall is a little bit cleaner there. Obviously, if you're newer. So getting into this first one, like I said, it was before the 8:40 window, but it was so textbook. Obviously, we displaced off of this breaker, and we would have experienced not even a tick of drawdown. As you can see, let me zoom in. This barely went over, so we actually would have got filled on there unless you were in like probably 10 contracts, which probably no one is right now. So obviously this one would have had zero drawdown. This was a full 18-point banger. This came down. This was the sell side level I was eyeing, which is or was in alignment. It was like the CE of this, or close to the CE of this -2 and -2.5 standard deviation. It was this low right over here. That was kind of my main target for the morning. So keeping that in mind right there. Did not mean to do that. Keeping that in mind right there. Obviously, this one did dabble around a little bit. If you knew that sell side level was there, you obviously could have held down to it, which only would have been 21.5 points. So a little bit more than the 18-point target, but either way, it was still hit right there. And obviously, order flow is bearish right here, so I'm only seeking longs. This one obviously would not be valid because we're just repricing up into a 1-minute bearish fair value gap. As I say, if you're trading the 15-second, use the 1 minute as your high time frame analysis. As dumb as that sounds, it's actually correct. That's going to save you a lot of hassle. I personally would not recommend just completely trading this mechanical. You'll be profitable, but your win rate when you add just the 1 minute in is going to significantly go up. There's no reason you aren't mid 80s, low 80s, sometimes even 90. For like December, my win rate was, I believe, low 90%. I don't remember exactly. I'll have to check. But obviously, with that in mind, obviously we repriced off this 1 minute fair value gap right here. We broke this little low right here. This I really liked because we had yet to take this sell side level. I did not expect this to be a full 12-point or 18-point winner because this sell side level is only 8.25 points away. As you can see, this one did only go 9.25 before coming up and stopping us at break even. And then the next one, this one is I was a little bit hesitant on. I probably personally would not have taken this due to the fact that we'd already taken sell side. The only thing that kind of would have made me want to take it is because ES was pretty strong. We had not taken any key sell side levels nor displaced very deep and back into the range like we did on NQ. So with that in mind, you could deem this as okay to take if you're trading it with discretion. Obviously, we don't have any equal highs up here. We do have some relative equal highs, but I don't mind those. So obviously right there, we displaced below that low. We would set our limit right at that bottom yellow line. As you can see, this one did dabble around for a long time, likely because we were in the -2.5 standard deviation as expected. But obviously we broke through it, and this one did go 17.75 points. So it almost went to 18 points, but not quite. And as you can see right there, we started to consolidate a little bit and turn back up. I was not entertaining anything until we cleared, or anything long specifically until we cleared these 1 minute bearish fair value gaps right here, as you can see right here that I have labeled out. Once we cleared those, I was kind of expecting, once we taken the sell side level out, just given how strong ES was, I was expecting us to kind of turn and come back up and come take out all these relative equal highs up here. Obviously, you can see down here, we closed above them over there, and we started to move back up. This was the only 15-second scalp setup that really was valid at all. Obviously, none of these fit within the requirements. I believe there were a couple clean 30-second scalps on here, but right now my focus is only on the 15-second until we get some more volatility in the market. With that in mind, obviously right here we break this high right here on the second candle. As I always say, it's got to be the second candle. It can work on the third candle, but the highest probable setup is going to be when the second candle breaks. So obviously right there, we would set our limit at the top yellow line on that gone level, 0.62 level, and we could be targeting this buy side up here. This is pretty obvious too, because we are approaching the -2, -2.5 standard deviation. Like, I do want to make this clear. You do not need to use standard deviations. It's a little bit more advanced. You can easily do them wrong, and you're going to scare yourself out of some setups. But once you know how to do them correctly, they can be a great confluence in where the market may reverse or where you should sit on the sidelines. So obviously this one would have came back and stopped us at break even before. It did go 8.5, so you would have been break even. But this one did come back to break even, stopped us out, and then did run up, I believe it is at 14.25 points before reversing. But for me, that was the last setup I would have taken. There's nothing over here that even, actually I do want to make this clear. These, in my eyes, are equal highs. I want you to listen to me. I don't care, like if it's something like this and we have a high put in over here that's equal to that, yes, that's going to be equal highs, but I have seen this specific signature cause setups to fail. That is why I do not take setups like this one right here. Perfect example. Obviously, there's no fair value gaps up here. We have these tiny little equal highs up here. You could be like, oh, we're drawing to this low, blah, blah, blah. No, that specific signature, when you see that and you get a setup, wait. The frequency is high enough. With this setup, you're going to get plenty of setups. Like I said, with the correct framework, you should be, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Obviously, like I said, today was a little bit tougher of a day to read. There were a couple misreads, but with the right framework, once you get some screen time, you'll be able to get results like this. It's not that difficult. You just got to submit to time, like I said. But in my eyes, that was the last valid setup. There obviously, some people are, I will say this, if you're not going to follow the rules I've given, don't trade. Like me personally, this setup right here, obviously we broke this low right here. There's a baby little favor. I do think some people took this. Even though it was a winner, I still would not have taken it. And I don't care if it's a winner because it doesn't fit. I've seen this fail so many times. So many times. Equal highs right up there. Obviously, there would be room with your stop, but even then, I really don't care. It just comes down to, I think that's something that a lot of people trading this don't understand is the data I have on this. These setups, once we get some more volatility in the market, goodbye. Goodbye. The stops are going to be so much tighter once we get some more volatility. Like, for example, I might post a screenshot on Twitter later, but in a good volatile market, when the VIX is at like 18 to 20 to low 20s, these moves are going to only be like this big. This big. I want you to realize that. So when I say these equal highs, they may work right now, but once the VIX gets a little higher, like I said, goodbye. They aren't going to work. They are not going to work. So it's better to ingrain that in your mind now before it's too late and you're taking those setups because you've seen them work before when the VIX gets higher. Because your ass is just going to get burnt. Much as I hate to say it, that's part of it. But that's some things I just wanted to clear up. Obviously, like I said, today overall was a great day for the model if it was done correctly. But like I said, normal conditions, once we get some more volatility, expect the frequency to be much higher, especially on the 15 second. I was back testing the other day. I have a couple recordings from back in like I think 3 or 4 months ago, and it was when I was strictly only trading the 30-second, but I was able to view it on the 15-second, and the amount of trades it had in like an hour and a half was like I think 12 or 13 or something like that, which is just bonkers. So like I said, just keep studying, keep getting some screen time with this. I know some people are absolutely killing it, specifically Ark. The dude, I'm telling you, he's putting in the work, and his work's getting rewarded big time. I think I saw in the Discord, I think he was on like a 12 trade win streak or something like that. Took his first loss this morning, but then quickly regained that right after. So obviously, keep putting in the work, keep grinding, keep getting some screen time. If you have any questions, per usual, shoot me a tweet, comment on this video, whatever works best for you, and I'll try to answer it as quick as possible. Peace.